Hey, let's talk about some exciting news. First and foremost, there has been some intriguing information about Elden Ring's downloadable content, aka Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. The announcement of this content was obviously appraised by fans when it was first announced over on Twitter by the developers on February 28th, 2023. So, of course, this is old information, stuff that we already knew about, yet what we didn't know about was the fact that Elden Ring almost had a season pass, including 2 downloadable contents that were going to be released. This eventually would not be the case because, of course, in February, they announced Shadow of the Erdtree. You might be wondering or thinking, how is this legit? Well, if we head over towards Elden Ring Discord, there was a post in one of the channels, and it specifically was by Lance talking to another fella about downloadable content. And I quote, "Elden Ring was meant to launch with Season Pass for 2 DLCs. By the way, it was all 100% planned." Then if we continue down below, he says no idea when it was cancelled exactly, it just never happened, and then the Colosseums just randomly showed up for free. Then continuing onwards, more down below, he then goes on to say that they were missing tons of content. And then the last 2 posts here, he says, quote, "And now only 1 DLC is coming. Feels like Bloodborne. What happened with that? Yeah, Season Pass was 100% the original plan, but I think this is way better. Make 1 massive DLC." And there you have it. There was plans and talks of releasing more content in Elden Ring, previously like Dark Souls 3 when they released 2 DLCs called Ashes of Ariandel and second DLC, The Ring City. This eventually would become a bundle that players could purchase, just like Season Passes, and it just seems like this would have been the similar path that From Software wanted to travel, yet they ended up just canceling that whole idea together. I'm interested in what you think about the recent news. Are you excited for 1 massive DLC, or would you have preferred a Season Pass with 2 DLCs? I only ask this because I feel like there are some players out here that are sort of upset and would have loved 2 downloadable contents, including that Season Pass. I myself personally feel like From Software took the right approach. And sure, you guys out there that have that belief, you're not wrong. The idea of separating content sounds great on paper because the devs can explain different stories or expand further on. Yet at the same time, I believe combining the 2 together to make 1 massive downloadable content sounds better if executed right. So without a doubt, I do believe From Software can pull it off correctly. Now, I feel like there is a question that we are all asking ourselves: what can we expect from Shadow of the Erdtree? This, of course, is a question I cannot answer, or at least none of us can really, except for the devs themselves. Yet what I can answer is that there are some cut contents that are within Elden Ring that have yet to be released. If you have not seen this, then let's go ahead and talk about it briefly. For example, we have the grass hair. This is something that I've been wanting since I found out about it about a year ago when the game came out, and it's kind of weird to say that. Wow, holy crap. Anyways, so yeah, a year ago when this game was released, I found out that there was the grass hair, this unreleased content. It's something I think a lot of us want to rock out, and unfortunately we cannot. And maybe when the content comes out, there is a chance of this. The second is going to be the Ragged set, I believe. If I'm probably mistaking the name for it. I'm just naming it off the top of my head. But yeah, this one's kind of interesting. I'm not too big fan of it. There is a backpack. You have some gloves on the side. It's pretty dark type of armor. But yeah, not my favorite. I would like to see it in terms of content because I'm sure some of you out there would like this. The headband here, pretty basic, nothing too crazy there to talk about. It's something. And then of course we have this Barbarian set. This one is interesting because I think this is when everyone had the idea that there was going to be the Barbarian DLC. Of course that did not happen because we have Shadow of the Erdtree. And last but not least, we are going to be taking a look at the Maleficent set. This actually has 2 different sets because you have the normal version with the dress, and then the other one's the one with her prosthesis. I would like to see this one for sure in the next content, because it's kind of disappointing that it's not there already. And there are some items such as this right here, which is Miranda's Prayer. This has not been released yet, and I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be in the content because it seems kind of weak to use. Regardless, would you like to see it? I know that at this point we just want something new, and I'm sure some of you out there are like, yeah dude, I'd totally like to have that. There is one more cut content that I'm not going to show, and that's the Deathbed Smalls, just because, man, that specific underwear really rides up the gooch, you know what I mean? And so I just did not want to showcase that on here, just in case YouTube, for whatever reason, want to strike it. But anyways, so the main idea here is that this is cut content that is yet to be released, and maybe it will come our way when the content does come out. And speaking of DLC, I was exploring a cave called Spiritcaller Cave. What's interesting about this specific point of interest is that it is similar to the Shadow of the Erdtree picture that From Software posted. And when I meant similar, it's just, I'm just talking about the spirits, really. I mean, you kind of have those faded tombstones in the distance in this image, as well as some swords or some type of weaponry. And so with all that, I just have the idea that if the downloadable content is something like this cave right here, where you essentially have these unlimited spirits that are able to spawn down because of the snail, I wonder if that's going to play a big impact in the next content. I mean, think about it. Can you imagine going against a boss that can summon down endless spirits? Or possibly there is a chance that we might end up going against a Godskin Apostle. That's a very good chance, possibly even two of them. There is actually a boss in this cave that is in a spirit form, and it is a Godskin. I wonder if that's gonna also be an issue when it comes down to difficulty. I mean, can you imagine that you defeat a Godskin and then it pops up again and again and again because you of course did not do something correctly, maybe defeating a snail? Yet of course this was not the whole boss fight, because when it came down to the boss fight for that Godskin, you just had to defeat him, lower down the health. There was really nothing that came down to defeating one of those snails or snakes or whatever they're called. And that's pretty much it when it comes down to that cave. I believe that this specific cave is unique. I don't think there are any other caves that are like this, to where there are spirits that can be summoned endlessly. And so if there is another cave like that and you guys know about it, let me know down below. Shoot a comment down there and I will read up on it. What's interesting is that this was my first time exploring that cave. When I decided to record something, I was like, holy crap, this exists. So if you have yet to explore that specific cave called Spiritcaller Cave, then definitely go over towards this cave, explore it, check it out. It's definitely worth taking a glance at. And there you have it. This is the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. And most importantly, if you're not subscribed, do so. And click on the notification bell and make sure you're notified for all. If you have any questions, shoot them down below. I will try to answer them. Or if you just, in general, want something to say, post it there. And last but not least, I want to give my thanks, as I always do, and want to say thank you to everyone that is currently subscribed and is a member. The love and support does go a long way, especially when you guys do come back and watch these videos. Thank you again, and I'll see you all in the next one.